like old teams that are going to place in the top 8. So if those surprises are likely to be successful, this surprise could be successful as well. I hope we get to see more Skeldra and Goofy, because I haven't seen enough Greatsword in 2s to really know how that all works. So I want to see more of it, and I'm glad that that's something that EU is bringing to the table here at DreamHack Valencia.
Yeah, it is really something that, at the top level of gameplay, it's not been explored that much. Of course, you see it sometimes, but it's not something that is really become a staple yet, even though, Greatsword has been up for a while. When you just compare a newer weapon like that to a weapon that's been out for, like Sword, people have thousands of hours of practice against Sword. When people see a Sword, they know what to do, but Greatsword, and then also bringing it into 2v2. Compared to the other weapons, I would say that it's a bit more uncharted territory.
Now, I don't actually know who we've got. Oh, wait, I do have the schedule.
It looks like...
I couldn't tell who they look like in the dark.
I think that might look like a cryptic, but I'm not sure.
I do have the schedule right here. Pardon me while I'm a guy on my phone for a second. Oh, I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. They sent it to me, so this is 100% my fault. Scrolling in WhatsApp. Where is it? Oh, no, that's not even close to it. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on, everybody. We're going to figure it out. It is Normando and JoceTruco. I'm not sure if that is a Spaniard.
JoceTruco, yeah.
And then Shaw and Rin. I know absolutely nothing about any of these players. Polly.
I know Shaw. I don't.
Okay.
That's about it. I've queued JoceTruco in ranked, I believe. I believe he's a bit of a ranked demon.
Okay.
Shaw, obviously. To everyone here watching on Twitch, Shaw is a streamer on Twitch. That's probably where most people know him, but he's also, of course, very skilled at the game. I don't believe he's been on a mainstream before, but he has placed top 32 in EU tournaments. He's a Qatar player.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know about the other players that much, so it's going to be fun to see them. Bit of a wild card for both of us. So yeah, we're gonna go on this journey together. We're gonna figure out what's going on.
This is going to be a top 32 qualifier match, also on the elimination bracket, just like the previous one. Let's see who sent them down into the elimination bracket. It looked like Shaw and Rin started off. They got a bye the first round. Their actual first round that they played in was against LG31 and Fias. That was a 3-0 for them. And then they went up against Pavelski and XJ Cool J. That was an 0-3 for them in favor of Pavelski and XJ Cool J, who moved on to top 32 on the winner's side. That sent them down, and that's where they are now.
Yeah.
Oh, your boy Piggy is done.
Piggy's out?
Piggy's out.
Against MG and J3 King. I mean, they're good. They're also so good.
I don't know J44L, but I do know MG and I know J3 King. So
yeah, that's very unfortunate. We got some other people in the bracket though. The bracket is booming. You can look at the negative side that, your favorite players are going out, but as you progress throughout the bracket, I always think that the games to just get better and better.
Now, Normando and JoceTruco, they got knocked out in a 3-1 against Aquino and the Ninja. So they did take a game off of Aquino and the Ninja, so that's solid.
That is very solid, especially, Ninja 79, of course, a staple in Europe, and Aquino recently also just absolutely popping off, becoming extremely good very, very quickly. Utilizing, kind of just riding the wave of the Lance meta and absolutely mastering it.
And so that shows how strong that victory that Normando and JoceTruco got, because right after that, Aquino and the Ninja moved on and took out Razox and Spectre 3-0, which I'm not that familiar with Razox at all, but of course I know Spectre. He used to play with Solarson, has played with other people in the past. We've seen Spectre on the mainstream. So yeah, that has me, like, if I'm looking at just these handful of sets that are on this bracket, I'm giving it to Normando and JoceTruco. But of course, like we said earlier, it's land, baby. Anything can happen. Your old sets can go great, and then all of a sudden you run into a brick wall. Maybe the nerves happen. Maybe the other team just has something that is your absolute Achilles heel, and you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's also, I can't really speak too much of the matter because, like, Shaw is my boy. Like, Shaw is my boy. I'm very excited to see the game nonetheless. It's going to be good competition. There's Shaw giving a little wave for the camera. They look ready.
Players are getting ready for this one. Like we said, it is a top 32 qualifier in the elimination side of the bracket. So the winner will move on to place guaranteed top 25th or better in the money. The loser will be knocked out of the tournament. Their 2v2 tournament run will end today, but that means they get to visit the rest of the convention center. That means they get to sit
Enjoy
out in
the
the
show.
audience. That means they get to take a rest. But everybody else, like I said in the pre-show, it's going to be a very long day. Experience said this on Twitter as well, saying that Luna is going to win 1v1s because today and tomorrow are going to be grinds. It's going to be all about the stamina, not just the number of games you're playing, but the time that they are spread out over. It's going to be a very long day. So players with good endurance are going to shine here.
I also feel like this is maybe a bit more of a philosophical opinion about performing in general, but I feel like endurance and consistency is like the true staple of real skill.
Yes,
which I feel like
absolutely.
obviously having the entire tournament in one day, this is going to be really, really rough, but I think the strongest players will shine even more. Because if you are kind of inexperienced and you're going up against someone that, arguably you would have lost to either way, and it's been a really long day, I think, that skill discrepancy will become even larger.
Let's see if we can get some stats up on these players. I'm looking for Ren, and it's not even auto-completing here. It's showing me some North American players. Oh, no. Okay,
Yeah,
nothing
no.
on Shaw and Ren. Let's see what we got on Normando.
Yeah, no, Rin is a bit of a wild card for me. JoceTruco, I could be completely wrong here, so don't quote me on this, but I think JoceTruco might be a Bold Bar player.
Okay.
But, he might have been a Bold Bar player like 3 years ago when I used to know that name, so I'm not sure where he's going to lock in.
Now, Normando is PR 1018 in EU. So that's going to be moving quite a bit up today, whether they win this or not.
I mean, higher PR is better than lower, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like 1,000 PR, that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a strong player, basically.
That's
what we can
probably
conclude.
one of the lowest PRs that I think I've probably ever seen on the stream.
Yeah, same.
So congratulations to Normando for the massive jump his PR is going to do after this weekend.
Yeah, and they also got like this far, so
Yeah,
I mean,
it's huge.
They could
That's
go
huge.
even further as well.
Looks like the players are giving the nod. Seems like they're about ready here.
Making sure the headphones work, making sure all the binds are set up. What's that? Playing on the top left is playing on like a Nintendo 64 controller.
Is it?
I think it was just a custom PS4 controller. I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
It looked it looked real
I mean,
funny.
it would work. It would absolutely. I mean, obviously, it would physically work because they make sure that like virtually every controller works. But I mean, you have a light attack button and you have a heavy attack button. If you're playing Mario 64, that's A and B. That's jump and punch, baby. That's all you need. You gotta even if you were literally
gonna
using a
jump?
Nintendo 64
Are
controller.
we gonna have jump plus aim up? How are we gonna jump? You need aim up separately binded from jump. You're gonna jump to start.
You could use the C buttons for jump.
Oh, true.
Like
that is
if
true.
you're, I mean, all of these players are young, so they're probably not playing like Super Smash Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64. But like C buttons for jump, like that was normal. I don't know if competitive. I just mean like when I played with my cousins.
Speaking of old gear, we talked about playing Brawlhalla on CRT TVs yesterday. How you would have realistically 0 input delay if it was possible. That was really, really interesting. I've never thought of that before. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know the science of CRT TVs. If Tazza was here, Tazza would probably know, and I feel like he would say that would be a horrible experience, but I actually don't know.
Old school FGC players just love analog. It's great.
I'm just glad nobody has to carry him around.
Yeah.
We get to have like monitors that you can
We just have the
essentially, like,
monitor set
double
up. It's so
fist, and
nice.
It's no big deal all day. All right, it looks like we're getting into this one. It seems like we have 3 controller players here. It's going to be the 3 players on your right playing on a controller, and the player all the way on your left, your boy Shaw.
My
It's
boy
going to be
Shaw,
a keyboard player.
of course. He's
That's reasonably
representing.
rare to see on stream. A lot of the top players do opt for that keyboard, but of course some people just comfort into that controller. I'm one of those players that comforts into that controller. It all makes sense because when I play platform fighters, I played Super Smash Bros. Played it on a controller. It's just what you did.
I feel like it's becoming more and more 50-50. And when account linking comes out, I think it'll be even more controller. Because all
I
of
would
those
absolutely agree
PS4
with
and
that.
Xbox players are probably gonna swap over to PC. And why would you learn keyboard when you can just plug in your controller?
There's also like we now have more like top players who are playing on controller as well. So when you're a layman like myself looking out in the audience and being like, well, I want to use the gear that he uses, it's more prevalent now that you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to pick up a controller. It looks like you were right about JoceTruco being a Bodvar player. So good call on that one.
Thank you very much. And we are going to be going on Miami Dome here. Am I saying right that Rin is on that Diana as well?
Yes,
this is quite some interesting picks we've had, not only in this game but all day so far.
We kind of have like old school comps here. We have a Bodvar on the screen, we have a Barraza on the screen, we have a Diana on the screen, and look at your boy Shot over here. We're seeing it start off with the Katars, the sidelight gets punished. I mean, the fact that we're seeing a Barraza and it's not Cody Travis, it feels strange. The fact that I'm seeing a Bodvar, a Trucker Bodvar, and it's not Lil Cap, that also feels strange in like current times. Shaw, your boy is gonna be the first one knocked out. Polly, you talked big about it. What's going on?
Listen, man. Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
Polymonto curse? Is that? I'm getting
no. I bless you curse. Listen,
I don't know.
This is how it
The
works.
crowd is talking about. I'm hearing
curse.
murmurs on the crowd about the Polymonto curse.
There's a reason that tournaments are best out of 5. Let me just say that. But the game is not over. I mean, look at Normando and JoceTruco. They're actually coming back from this quite well so far. And you know, when or if they get the Normando off, they will right down. Now they have that weapon advantage in over as well.
That was a great knockout from Shaw. Put out a little bit of team damage. His teammate was in the yellow, and they got the KO off, so it's totally worth it. Seeing the sideline neutral air coming out from Shaw. Haven't seen too much Ragnar gameplay in twos. I mean, there's not even like that one person that really reps the Ragnar.
Viper, but not that much in 2v2. I feel like the signatures are really stepped up on. Not Viper, but Ragnar is very, very strong.
Shot not coming in with the card he started off with, and he's instantly gonna get comboed. Almost taken off the top, but not quite. Ren comes in, provides a little bit of relief there. He's spawning back in on this one, does eat a dare. Nice little 2-piece from Shaw, but he does get punished on his lane back on the stage by Normando. His in-light came out. This recovery, unfortunately, bounced Ren off the stage instead of actually sitting over the corner into the potential in edge guard. Nice stomps there for the follow-up, though. It's follow-up after follow-up after follow-up on both teams.
She also evaded that Bodvar hammer extremely well straight after doing the follow-up. All of these players are on their feet right now. The only thing I'm worried about is this could be too little too late coming out from Rin and Shaw. JoceTruco and Normando, they have had a beautiful showing so far. They are doing well.
We'll see how long Normando can live on this stock. His teammate is getting hit here. You've seen him go in with the GC into the side signature. He was at that point at his stock that like most things, if they don't actually knock him out, are just going to spread it from his teammate, and that means the red team has the potential for a small 2v1 against his teammate. So it was basically good for him to go for that big move play at that time. He did get knocked out. He went for the D-light into the gravity cancel neutral signature. A madman instead of just getting the D-light side air.
I mean, you can do the same thing. That's more damage. That's more knockback. Why would he also had it was actually a really, really good setup because he had his teammate right behind me as well. But yeah, amazing first game. Normando JoceTruco, beautiful showing. Shaw and Rin are going to have to bounce back. I feel like they had a really, really bad start. The rest of the game was going like pretty much even. Lots of back and forth. Maybe JoceTruco and Normando were like a little bit ahead, but I feel like it all fell apart during that start.
Now, looking at the bracket here, when we talked about Normando and JoceTruco against Aquino and the Ninja, that was a 3-1. Okay, we don't actually get to see the order at which the games happened. Like Normando and JoceTruco could have taken game 1 and then they lose 3 in a row. That could be the exact same thing that happens here. They took one game, so that's definitely not their total overall win condition. So we'll see how Shaw and Rin bounce back from that. You see the smile. I don't know whether that was Normando or JoceTruco. Is Jose from Germany? Like, he has the German flag avatar. At least I think that's German flag.
Yeah, I believe he's German. But also, when we saw the overlay, it said everyone is Spanish except for Shaw. Shaw is from the UK. That much I'm sure. Okay. Now, let's see if we're going to be able to have a stronger start here. Normando and JoceTruco, they really just keep fighting this way. Keep doing what you're doing, and whenever it's not working, you assess the situation.
Now Rin is over here on the coach. He can start this one off with the bow in his hand. We are on Apocalypse, of course. Neutral light coming out. A little bit of team damage, but it is early in the game. The damage lead is a little bit in favor of talking about those strong signatures, there was one for you right there. And grab the cancel that one. He loves the D-Light into the in-sig. Someone needs to tell him about D-Light D-Sig. He's going to lose his mind when he sees how good D-Light D-Sig is.
I feel like already we're seeing kind of a change of pace where Shaw and Rin, they were kind of playing in your face before. They're doing a lot more footsies now, looking for these heavy hits that are important, hitting hits that really, really matter. Which so far, looking a lot more even, much better start than last time around. JoceTruco now stuck in this 1v2 situation. He's just stuck on the edge.
That was crazy that he burned his dodge to do an in-light there. So I think JoceTruco is feeling very confident. The fact that he's seeing the N6 coming out, the fact that he wants the GC in-light all the way down there over on the edge. So he's got to be feeling good. Definitely after that first victory, he puts a side air into the back of the head. Shaw tries to come in and actually save Ren. I mean, he hit Ren out of the damage that was done to him. So there was an interruption there, but it also put out a little bit of team damage. Shaw is going to end up falling. This puts Ren in the 2v1, but Ren had Jose over there on the road. Quick recovery over on the air. That kept him in the 2v1. Nice follow-up.
Very, very damaging. We're going to see stocks flying up. We'll see the on the stage. Blasters recovery takes the first. Now to 2v1. Shaw just needs to stay alive. And he's going to be able to do so successfully. He wasn't even trying to stay alive. He was looking for that KO.
Dude, I'm kind of really liking Jose's hammer. I'm seeing a little bit of swagger. There are some misses. It's not a perfect hammer by any means, but I'm seeing the important things there in the flow that comes from hammer. Even that GC side stick over to the left side does end up winning it, but the idea was there. He has a lot of really good ideas, and I like that a lot.
The thing that makes like a good hammer player an excellent hammer player, in my opinion, is how you play on the ground. That's why JoceTruco is also doing very, very well.
Nice, swap it over back to the hammer. D-Light into the sidelight on a red opponent. Not sure about that one. Not sure if that's tournament nerves. Maybe just had a little bit of a misinput there. He didn't actually get the jump in time to find the side air follow-up for the KO. He is the only one still on his second stock, though. Even after that neutral there, that was a great sidelight into the neutral there. The red team ended up picking up. Normando just running. He's in the 1v2. He's trying not to take damage while Jose is spawning back into this one. There's the neutral signature GC from Shaw. Normando almost gets back, but not quite. He's going to end up falling out of this one. And Jose has the 1v2. I haven't seen him throw out sword D-Sig. He's done side sig, he's done neutral signature, and I think once he learns that D-Sig is so good, that's the one thing I want him to take from this, is how good D-Sig is. Once he uses that one, he might be unstoppable.
Intense 1v2 right now. They just need to find the one opening, and they know it. He gets the D-Sig, gets the hold sit. That's a Ragnar classic right there.
Ooh, I was expecting Shaw to pick up the axe side air for the KO. Right at the timing for it. Maybe didn't expect his teammate to pick up the punish instantly. There we see 570 damage from your boy, from Shaw, so he's doing the most damage in that game.
Yeah, they did manage to come around from that. And as I mentioned, the fact that they stopped doing kind of the in-your-face kind of gameplay really, really helped them, I feel. Only question now is, are we going to see like a kind of a pendulum effect where they win one and then the other team comes back and then the other team comes back? This could be a long set. I'm expecting this to be a long set.
Yeah, this is only our second set of the day, but of course the previous one was lightning fast. It was a 3-0 so quick. Now we might have that back and forth. I've never heard it referred to as a pendulum, but that's absolutely, like, it totally makes sense. Well, a pendulum goes like this.
Well, yeah.
I actually don't know if a pendulum like has to hang at the top and go back and forth. Like, I don't know if a metronome is considered a pendulum.
I have no idea.
3, 2, 1.
You shouldn't be asking a Swede these questions.
No, I do like pendulum. I think that's a good thing to call it. Normally we call it tug of war. So.
Oh, that's also good.
I learn new things when I talk to Europeans all the time.
Also, interesting observation. We're not seeing any legend swaps.
Yep.
They're just keeping it, I feel like in general, a lot of really, really good players, they like to eliminate all outside variables and just focus on the gameplay. It really helps to, get down to the bare bones of what you're doing and what you can do to improve. And this is a massive offstage opportunity. Actually, Shaw is going to be able to find the first signature. They're still both off, but they're both going to be able to get back up. Unfortunate situation there for Sean there.
But Jose did a great job of he was throwing out moves to like get himself back like hammer recovery. He was right next to his teammate, but he made sure he wasn't hitting his teammate with the hammer recovery because that would have led to the KO. But then it looked like Normando was in trouble, and you saw Jose move over to him. He had the potential to scoop him up with a dare if he actually needed to. One of the really strong properties of hammer. Jose loves gravity canceling signatures. He's done so many of those. Picks up the dare, finds the KO, goes for the instant weapon toss. It misses, so he picks up the sword. Now, one of the variables that is changing is, of course, we're on Western Air Temple.
I feel like, and this is not derogatory in any way, but I feel like you can almost tell by JoceTruco's gameplay that he's a ranked D. Like he plays in a very, very particular way that I feel like you can recognize. And what is this? Normando could be going down quite early here, but JoceTruco is going to be able to come around and support his teammate, and we're going back to ground zero.
And Normando was doing a great job there. You saw that axe recovery come out. It ended up hitting Shaw and sending him down. It was the bottom side of that axe recovery that hit. That's one of the benefits. Okay, nice D-Light recovery. Doesn't actually get the KO there off the top. That's going to be some of that Ragnar defense coming into play here.
The signatures off of JoceTruco, they're so lean. He's gotten so many knockouts with them on the hand.
I'm telling you, we need...
I mean, what is that? What is that option? He doesn't
Dude.
need. He does not need Sword of D-Sig because
crazy.
he can do that instead. Sword of D-Sig, everyone expects it. Who expects that? We didn't.
I'm glad he didn't do Sword D-Sig there because that would be such a weird spot to do it in because it would just spike off the stage, take a lot of the momentum. Sorry, not spike off the stage. It was, well, it would bounce him off the stage, taking away the momentum. So the fact that he did that was so situational because that was the first time we saw him do that.
And that's like,
Oh yeah, that was him doing that and noticing that like, oh, this is the position that I'm in. He knew that was coming. He wasn't just like, you know what, I'm gonna switch it up with the side stick here. I'm gonna be a crazy man. I'm gonna turn around the side stick.
Boldvar needs more.
Please do a D-Sig. I'm telling you, like it's gonna change your life. You're good with the other signatures.
This is dangerous.
I'm putting respect on the other signatures that you're using, but once you put D-Sig in, everything's gonna go crazy.
That was a key moment right there, right? Where JoceTruco was respawning. If they were able to take Normando out there, that would have been done deal. But now, this is definitely leaning in favor of Normando and JoceTruco. They just need to find these knockouts. You already see the signatures coming out. A second one from JoceTruco. He's hungry for them. But that is going to be the knockout, and it's the 2v1 now against JoceTruco. This is going to be a massive... Yeah, it's so winnable, but it's going to be intense.
Now that time, I think he went for the D-Light recovery because the recovery would move him up away from the opponent, and Shaw throws out a neutral signature there, giving JoceTruco plenty of time to 1, finish off the KO, and 2, not get punished. The axe inlight not going to punish for the actual KO, sends him over to the left. Jose in the weapon advantage here. Shaw has the guitars in his hand, side sig comes out,
Beautiful
just barely cleaning that one up. 722 damage from Shaw. He carried that game.
That's my boy. That's my boy right there. He's shining. He's shining right now.
That's going to give him the lead. It's up now at 2-1.
JoceTruco and
That
Normando,
was
like,
crazy.
that was
That
so
side
crazy.
sig was so crazy.
Like they are consistent, they are solid, but they just fall short of that finishing line. I feel like Sean Rin so far throughout the set, they've done a better job at adapting. I feel like that's what it comes down to at this point. Also, just Shaw stepping up. Like if he didn't do 700 and 700 damage, like they would not have won that.
Yeah, absolutely. That game was lost if Shaw didn't go absolutely crazy, and that's part of the mark of a 2v2 team is like everybody can't like split down the middle and do 480 and 480. 3 KOs every time. That's not how that works. Like Cody Travis and Faison. That's an amazing team that we've talked about for years. Sometimes Faison has terrible games where he does 213 damage and Cody does a gorillion damage. Consequently, the other side of that also can happen sometimes where Faison is grabbing KOs left and right over on the edge, and Cody's just like kind of being that guy in the middle, doing the guy in the middle things. So that's a mark of a good 2v2 team is the fact that someone can also carry a game. Because you can't always do TikTok shit. You can't always do 480 damage. Now you're pointing at the screen, and I know what you're talking about, but I want you to lay it out for us.
Got the Thor on the stage, and you know, we've had a massive Thor meta for a long time. It was a long time ago I saw a Thor, you know, Of course, Boomy Sandstorm, they were on the floor a lot. JoceTruco representing the pick. Of course, he has that hammer. He has the orb now, though, which is a big change up here.
Yeah, I don't know why more people don't play Thor. Like, obviously there was a time where like Hammer got nerfed, it completely fell off. But like even before that, it seemed like Thor was the guy to play, and then everybody all of a sudden made it was long, and it was like you just don't play Thor.
He's just like in that awkward space where if you're a Hammer main, why would you play Thor? If you're an Orb main, why would you play Thor?
I agree.
So I think that's why you're not seeing him at all. But I'm really happy to see him right now. So far, though, if we were to redirect your focus at the game, Rin and Shaw, no, it does not look like this Thor pick is helping them out that much right now. And you know, this is do or die right here. This could be your tournament game.
Now we're also seeing Rin change things up as we're seeing Akaya come into play. A much more meta legend over on the left side. Shaw took out Normando, ended up falling, or sorry, not Normando, JoceTruco in the process falling. Was that worth?
I think so.
I would agree.
It's a good trade.
Yeah. That put Normando onto final stocks. Meanwhile, Shaw
He's
only
getting
on
damaged.
second.
And Rin is committing as well. They are starting to commit. They are doing the confidence plays at the moment. They're really just trying to assert dominance.
I mean, they've won 2 games in a row, so there's a reason for them to be confident here. They have 4 stocks. It's 4 stocks to 2.
Oh, that could be it.
Oh, yep.
Oh, Rin with the offstage play, and that's it. And they keep Jose out of it too, but they managed to get back up.
I can't believe he got back. That was essentially over. You had to throw a couple weapon tosses down there. He had to burn everything to get back. I think they kind of dropped the ball on that edge guard there. I think Normando was basically done.
That should have been over, yeah. That was a key moment for sure. Oh, and that's a signal. That could have called both as well.
Jose's crazy. Who delights into the turnaround side signature? What a madman.
Yeah, this is...
He just went for the
the
GC
weapon
side
throw.
heavy, and he ends up getting punished. And Jose, oh man. Ren and Shaw are going to take the set 3-1 with a very confident final game there in Game 4.
Beautiful showing by them. And I said it before, the adaptability. I feel like every single game they had, they were playing better. Yeah. Unfortunately for JoceTruco and Normando, they had a lot of good moments. I'm really, really happy I got to see JoceTruco and Normando play. Like, this is a very entertaining team. I hope I get to see them some other time.
I really like watching Jose. I think he just needs to like refine his play style. Like he has all the important ingredients. I think he just like maybe has them in not the right order or not the right amount, right? Like if you put too much flour in a cake, I don't know what happens, but it's not going to be as good. It'll still turn out like a cake. You can still put frosting on it and candles, and it still may taste pretty good. But once he refines the ingredients and figures out exactly the amount of ingredients that he needs, I think he's going to bake a delicious cake, because I really enjoyed watching him a lot. I think he showed a lot of swagger in his hammer that we have not seen in a minute. Like once Java isn't playing hammer anymore, Java had a lot of swagger on his hammer, and Kaina had a lot of swagger on his hammer. I'm loving Jose's hammer as well. It's not quite up to those levels, but like I'm seeing the foundation there.
Yeah, and your cake analogy was what I was trying to say when I was saying that you can tell that he's a ranked demon.
Yeah.
Like he has so much experience, so much practice, and so many tricks. But when it comes to putting them to use, as we mentioned, quite often you fall short of the finish line. But this is a player that is really good. They have good synergy with Normando as well. I'm gonna be excited to see them in future events. Yeah, Sean Rin though.
Your boys, I was worried. I was worried about you and your boys.
I was not worried, but actually I was.
Yes,
I was
absolutely
quite
were.
worried.
Don't say that you weren't.
Yeah, I was quite worried. But the adaptability, I'm very, very impressed.